Hello. I cheated on my wife with an employee of my business. It's something that I'm really proud of. That's really changed my life.
I think poorly made backlash response videos are my favorite form of content on the internet. There's something so interesting about watching a person try to apologize for something and doing it in such a way that reveals like so much about their character, because by the end of the video, people are more upset with them than they were before they even tried to apologize. It's like, what do you mean you made a video apologizing for your shitty podcast, and in that video where you're apologizing for making a podcast about cheating on your wife, you say that you're proud of yourself? Where did you learn to apologize, my guy?
Ladies and gentlemen, I am genuinely displeased to inform you that we are back. A little over a month ago, I made a video on what has got to be the world's worst and most unnecessary podcast ever made. If you haven't seen that video, you should definitely go watch it if you want to torture yourself a little bit. But the podcast in question was called Rock Bottom and was made by a guy named Ned Fulmer, who, if you don't recognize that name, used to be a part of the big YouTube channel called The Try Guys. That was until it came out that he was cheating on his wife with the producer of the show, and part of the Try Guys he was no longer. Now, this was a big sort of internet drama happening at the time, but like it was years ago, so everyone sort of forgot about it until about a month ago when Ned Fulmer released this podcast, and the first episode was him talking to his wife in a sort of strange, like self-led couples therapy session format, and officially made the most uncomfortable, most awkward podcast of all time. Now, naturally, people dunked on this clown because, I mean, like, what are you doing, brother? And not a single living soul has watched a single episode of this podcast since. The episode with his wife currently has 1.2 million views, and the most recent episode has 2.7 thousand. Nobody is watching anything that this guy puts out because, I mean, the people who know who he is don't like him. And, well, the people who don't know who he is, let's just say now that he is doing solo content, it is apparent that his fellow Try Guys were sort of carrying a lot of the load. So what do you do in this situation when nobody wants to watch anything that you're putting out unless it's about that one very specific thing that a lot of people still care about? Well, naturally, you milk that for everything it's got, and that's exactly what Ned Fulmer has done with a recent video titled Addressing the Backlash, in which he dishes out the world's worst response of all time to people being like, hey man, this podcast is weird and also it fucking sucks. It's 10 minutes of a guy who knows you don't like him trying to pretend and convince himself that one day you might. It's really hard to watch, not quite as hard to watch as his wife telling him that she hates him and will never forgive him for an hour, but it's up there, so that's what we're doing today. So let's not waste any more time. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
Hello. I've heard a lot of the commentary and reactions to my podcast episode with Ariel, and I wanted to take this video to address some of them. That episode with Ariel was mostly about her story, and now in this video, I'll tell a little bit more of mine.
Already off to a horrific start. My brother in Christ, I know for an absolute fucking fact that you did not see a single comment or watch a single video where anybody's complaint was, you know what, I really wish Ned would have talked a little bit more in this episode. Like, holy shit, man, is this just rage bait? You can't be this self-absorbed, I don't believe it. You cannot possibly think anybody's issue with that podcast was that we didn't hear your side of the story enough.
First, I know that it was a very painful and uncomfortable conversation to watch. I know for some of you, it reopened things. For us, it felt like a necessary step to be able to move forward. We knew we would always get these sort of questions in any context online, and it felt like the only way to move forward was just to face it head on.
Okay, so I'm going to try to make an effort to not just repeat everything I said in that original video I made talking about this, but immediately these are two things that I criticized heavily. First of all, nobody should care about this in a real way. This happened years ago. This is a person that you don't know cheating on a person that you don't know. If watching a podcast of a person you've never met before talking about cheating on a person you've never met before opens anything up for you in regards to this situation, you need to get off the internet. You are letting parasites social relationships ruin your life. Secondly, no, this was not a necessary step at all, and saying that is just disingenuous. Neither you and your ex-wife nor the internet needed a publicized hour-long live stream of a shitty couples therapy session to move on from the fact that you cheated on your wife. Like I said in my video, if you really wanted people to know, could have been an Instagram post. You're also basically going to admit later on that you did this episode for money, so I don't even know why you say this to begin with.
After Discovery, I started an intensive program of therapy, group therapy, and work to really try to understand what I had done, why I had done it, and what it meant for my relationship and my life.
Okay, so look, don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to downplay the importance of therapy, but I feel like a lot of the times people, especially in situations like this, almost kind of weaponize it. Like they use it as almost a sort of shield for their behavior, and I think you see it a lot with speech like this. Saying you needed to go to therapy to understand what you had done and why you did it when talking about cheating on your wife is kind of pathetic. You cheated on your wife because you wanted to, Ned, and you did it because you didn't care about how your wife would feel if she found out. You can't really therapy speak your way out of that. Sure, there may be underlying reasons that kind of attributed to it, but the reason you cheated on your wife with the producer of a show you worked on probably boils down to you wanting to have sex with that person. That's my guess.
This involved a lot of facing rationalizations, denials, minimizations, all of these mental clouds that help you continue behavior that you know is hurtful, and you still do it anyways. So it let me face the truth and acknowledge in no uncertain terms that I cheated on my wife with an employee of my business, and it caused her immense pain and shattered our marriage, and also caused a lot of pain to a lot of other people.
Okay, so do you kind of see what I mean here? It's like when he talks about this, the way it comes across is him almost being like, there was no way I could have seen how bad this was in the moment. Like it's walking the line of him almost shifting the blame off of himself because he's like, I had so much going on in my head that I couldn't even see what I was doing was wrong. It's like, yes, you could, Ned. Nobody on planet Earth has ever thought that cheating on their partner is a good thing. So the next few minutes is just more of him talking about what he's done in therapy over the last couple of years, also what him and Ariel have done for each other over the last couple of years, which, I don't really think this is what people are looking for in a video titled Addressing the Backlash. Again, I don't think anybody was looking for this when they were criticizing your podcast. I think the whole criticism was that it shouldn't exist to begin with, not, hey, we need to hear more of Ned's side of the story. But yeah, it's pretty much just him talking about what he's done in therapy, what he's learned in therapy, and then we get to this.
It's something that I'm really proud of. That's really changed my life, and I understand that if a viewer is watching this for the first time or just sees this 15-second clip on TikTok, you don't understand everything that has led us to this point. And I know that it'll take time, and if you want to just judge me off of one clip of me talking about society, which obviously was not the best response to that situation, you are welcome to do that. I know that people have a choice when it comes to what they watch and what they consume. And if people don't want to continue engaging with me on the internet, then that's a consequence of my actions and something that I have accepted.
Okie dokie, so employing the whole woe is me technique and dropping the bomb of I don't care what you think about me, I've come to terms with it, I'm proud of myself, in this sort of context is definitely a move. One more time, Ned, because for some reason I don't think you're getting this. Well, I'm sure there is a percentage of people who decided to just watch TikTok clips and form their conclusions and base their opinions around those. I think a lot of people who are still judging and criticizing you did watch the entire podcast
podcast because it has over 1 million views, and as a person who did watch the entire podcast twice, unfortunately, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think the clips route is the better option for you. I think the entire podcast as a whole paints you in a worse light than the clips themselves do. And again, I don't really think it's an issue of people forming their opinions based off clips. I think it's just people aren't going to like you because of what you did. Like, you can't really explain it away. Also, saying that you're proud of yourself in this video is kind of wacky work, dude. Like, sure, be proud of yourself privately, be proud of yourself for becoming a better person, but when what you're proud of yourself for doing is just becoming a person who can employ empathy and recognize that cheating is bad, that's not really a bar that we should be celebrating, I don't think. Maybe keep that one to yourself. Anyways, the rest of the video is really him just plugging his new content, talking about how important the Rock Bottom podcast is and will continue to be, but to me it seems like he's already given up on the mission of the podcast because the most recent episode is with Phil Lamar, and there is no sort of discussion whatsoever about hitting rock bottom or even like a low point. So that seems a little bit interesting. There's also what appears to be some sort of bot that I would assume Ned is employing in the comment section of all of these videos, that when anybody says anything even slightly negative towards Ned, they go in full defense mode saying that he did nothing wrong. So for the channel that claims to be all about embracing your low points, embracing your rock bottoms, seems like Ned doesn't want any focus on his. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Like I've been saying about this entire fiasco, none of these videos needed to exist ever. Nobody was asking for this. If you were, you should be ashamed of yourself. I don't understand really why this guy wants to be on the internet so badly. Like, he's losing money for sure doing this. It's not me being mean, it's just objective. Nobody is watching that podcast, and he's having like celebrities on it. I'm assuming he's paying them. 2,700 views on YouTube is like $7. He can't be making money off of this. So he's losing money for people to hate him on the internet. It's like, okay, whatever floats your boat, I guess. I don't understand it. My recommendation, Ned, would be to maybe just stop talking about how you cheated on your wife. That might help you, but then again, nobody would click on a video where you're not talking about that, so maybe just find a better way to do it. This one didn't really hit the mark. Go back to the drawing board. See ya.